It's time for the Sustainable Ministry Show. This is episode number 4, 12 Minutes with Mark DeVries.
Hello, America. Nice to see you.
Hey, folks, so we are hanging out with Mark.
Is that a problem?
Hey, so we're hanging out with Mark DeVries.
We're hanging out with Mark DeVries.
Hey, so we are sitting here with Mark DeVries and going to take a few minutes to get to know him a little bit. So, Mark, could you describe yourself in 3 words?
Yes. That's going to be the first word. And then I want to put together, I know you've asked me this question before, so I'm ready for you. I want to put together 3 words into a sort of one hyphenated word. We'll count it as the other 2.
Okay.
Okay. Radically practical dreamer. Oh, God.
If we were to back up then to when you started in ministry, how did that begin for you?
Well, it certainly didn't begin with anything that was terribly organized or practical. I wanted to have that. I went to college thinking that I would be in that very solid career of being in theater. I was thinking I wanted to be an actor of some kind, and well, I'd had this at the same time. Had these sort of 2 tracks. So I had this really profound experience coming to Christ in young life. Now I have to say that happened. That happened in the context of having grown up in the church and having had a fabulous grounding in a congregation, but at the same time, it came alive for me in a new way as a teenager in young life. And I think at that point, as a sophomore in high school, I think I did have an inkling that because of that experience was so transformative for me at that season of my life. My parents had gotten divorced when I was 11. I was in the midst of making some choices that may not have been the most healthy choices, and so and when I graduated from high school, I did what a lot of very active Young Life kids do. I figured the only way to be a Christian was to be a Young Life leader, and so I was a Young Life leader for my freshman year of high school, and then freshman year of college, and then a church that I had some friends in called me and said, "Hey, would you be our assistant youth director?" And so we ended up being there for 3 years of college, and then 3 years after college.
And then when did you start at First Presbyterian in Nashville?
Well, the church in Texas started raising money for me to go to seminary, and I hadn't had plans of going to seminary, but I thought, well, I guess if y'all are going to pay for it, I'll go. So we it's amazing how God uses our pathology to do amazing things. So I went and looked at seminaries that year and ended up going to seminary and graduated from seminary in '86, and so went to First Pres in Nashville in 1986.
And then you were there for 28 years?
28 years. So just poetically, I was 56 years old. So it was exactly half of my life that I had been at this church when I rolled out of that position a little over a year ago.
And if you could identify, like, what 1 or 2 things kept you there for that time frame? It's so unique. It's such a unique gift to a church to have staff people there that long, and that's something you were able to give them. What kept you going?
Well, I think a huge piece of it was somehow early on, thanks to my wife, really, we had developed this rhythm of a weekly Sabbath and 3 other slots, morning, afternoon, or evening, every week that I would sort of turn off and not be working. And that did not come naturally. So before we went to seminary, I was pretty much pedal to the floor. There was no difference in any days in the week. It was just I was always on. And as we were about to come to Nashville to our first position, I remember we were walking around the block at the married student housing, and Susan said, "We cannot do what we did back then," which is euphemism for you cannot do what we did back then. And so, it took several laps around that big old block for us to come up with what she has now we both call the slot system. So I just promised her before the end of the walk that, as much as we could, we would make normal a habit of 6 slots every week that I would be available to our family. That would be Sabbath time or rest time that I would be off from work. Of course, every week it requires serious recalibration in youth ministry because every week's just a little bit different. But that rhythm of having time where I was not engaged in ministry formally, right? Because of course family is ministry. Anyway, back to you, Bob. You got a question?
I've got 2 more.
Yeah, you don't have much time because
now,
this thing's about over.
Now we're in 2015, moving into 2016. What do the next few years hold for you?
Well, I really feel like this next season, I've imagined my life in these kind of 15-year seasons. So ministry from 20 to 35 was, man, those were energetic. Man, I just wanted to get out and do it all. This 35 to 50 was really it was sort of the integrating and figuring out, how does all this kind of fit together, and I knew I couldn't work still at this pace. And then the 50 to 65 or 55 to 70, that is, I really believe that the most valuable contribution I can make to the work of the kingdom is in this whole field of missional entrepreneurship. I just think I think there are I think the church is in a huge sea change right now, and it is an incredibly disruptive time, and we gotta find ways to incubate and empower people that God's given dreams and visions to. Young men will dream dreams, right? And so I really want to invest these last 15 years or so of vocational ministry, and the shorthand is helping people live out and anchor their dreams in something that'll actually work. Hi, Santa. What I want for Christmas?
Youth lives have been changed. Volunteers' lives have been changed. Churches are being changed through the work. You're empowering other people, and yet there's still one question. There's still one question that people debate, and they wonder. And I wonder if at this moment you can clarify. How is it you pronounce your last name?
Lencioni.
Lencioni.
Yeah. No, it's not true. It's not true. But a lot of people mispronounce Patrick Lencioni's name, and
This is true.
We're actually crazy. Youth ministry architect staff, we are crazy about Patrick Lencioni's stuff. Patrick, if you happen to be listening to this podcast, we need your help in so many ways, and would love for you to actually join our team. So feel free to call 615-424-2304. I'd love to take you out to lunch, and we'll talk about things. The real answer, though, is Mark DeVries. Not DeVries or DeVries, but DeVries.
Or DeVries. It's another one that I've heard.
The S is pronounced like a Z at the end. Mm-hmm.
So it rhymes with freeze.
Yeah, it's
DeVries.
It's not DeVries. It's DeVries. Yeah, just soft Z.
So we're gonna enter a lightning round of questions, Mark. And whatever your first thought is, or first response, is what we want to hear. So, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Taylor Swift or Katy Perry?
Taylor Swift.
Skydive or bungee jump?
Skydive.
Be older than you are or younger than you are right now?
Younger.
Obi-Wan or Yoda?
Yoda.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hot dogs.
Netflix or Redbox?
Netflix.
Phone call or FaceTime?
Oh, phone call. Phone call. Phone call.
Phone call or face-to-face?
Phone call. Phone call.
In the crowd or in the corner?
In the corner. In the corner.
Couch or doghouse?
Couch or doghouse? Let me just ask our studio audience. Does anybody have a clue what that means? Couch or doghouse?
So when you're in trouble with your wife, are you on the couch or in the doghouse?
Well, yeah, I see why this is a problem for me because I've never been in trouble with my wife. It's been sort of a magical ride for 36 years. 36? Oh, let's hope that's right.
Tonight you'll be in the couch or the doghouse.
Well, we don't have a dog, so it's going to be the couch.
There you go.
Yeah.
Marinara or Alfredo?
Alfredo.
Corporate worship or individual devotions?
Corporate worship.
Big booty or wink? These are both games.
Well, I'm not sure that I know wink, and I'm not sure I should claim big booty. So, maybe egg in the armpit relay?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
The Message or NIV?
Oh, the Message.
Preaching or Sabbath?
Sabbath.
And so the last one, are you working hard or hardly working?
Yeah, I am transitioning from working hard to hardly working.
Lovely.